Welcome back to the Universe of Power. If you haven't already watched part 1 of my current series Ghost Town, I highly suggest that you do so. In today's part 2 video of the series, I will be breaking down a few scenarios in which how and when Ghost will return. But before I get into that, I will break down who I think is currently still in contact with Ghost. Without further ado, here we go. There have been many hidden and underlying clues throughout Power Book 2 Ghost Seasons 1 and 2 that show us Ghost is very much alive and monitoring Tariq's every move. I believe Ghost has a number of people in place within Tariq's life that report everything back to him. One person in particular is pretty obvious, which is none other than Attorney Daniel Warren. As I stated in my previous video, I believe that Attorney Daniel Warren notified Ghost immediately after he received the news that Tariq was arrested. If you really believe Ghost wrote that letter beforehand, you are sadly mistaken. There are a number of characters in which I believe are in contact with Ghost currently. I will start with the characters that are most likely. Attorney Daniel Warren, Tommy, and Simon Stern. Whenever any one of these characters have mentioned Ghost, they all seem to speak on him in present tense at one time or another. As I stated in my previous video, I believe the writers place certain things in plain sight to where only a select few will notice what's really being said or done in a scene. Now listen very carefully when I say this. The following characters that I am about to list next are strictly only possibilities: Monet, Effie, and Councilman Tate. Now before you call me crazy, let me explain. I find it very odd that Monet and Ghost never came across one another back in the day. As big as Ghost was in the streets, how has Monet never heard of him? I believe either one or two things can explain this. Either Monet only knows Ghost by his real name, or Monet is pretending as if she doesn't know him when actually she does. I will speak more on Monet in the future. When it comes to Effie, I only mentioned her simply because there have been multiple viewers in the comments of previous videos who seem to believe that Ghost put her into Tariq's life. I really don't believe this theory, but what do you think? Lastly, I believe that Councilman Tate is the most realistic of the three names I just listed. Once again, as I stated in my previous video, I believe that we did not see every conversation in its entirety between Ghost and other characters in the finale of Season 6. We did see Councilman Tate try to warn Ghost about Tariq, but Ghost never let him finish. I believe one way or another it could be possible that Councilman Tate has stayed in contact with Ghost about Tariq. I think we never saw Ghost and Councilman Tate's entire discussion. Other than the names that I just listed, I believe there could be other people we currently have not seen yet that are keeping tabs on Tariq for Ghost. Now let's get straight into how and when Ghost will return. I believe there are only two logical ways in which they could bring Ghost back. The first way Ghost could return would be when everything else fails for Tariq. I could see Tariq and Brayden in a major gunfight with a major figure in the show that we currently have not seen yet. I can see Brayden and Tariq being outnumbered, and then Tommy pulls up to assist them. Then Brayden gets shot. Then Tommy goes to cover Brayden as he gets out of the way of the gunfire. Then, in the process of helping Brayden, Tommy also gets shot as well. So now it's just Tariq by himself in the shootout. Tariq then runs out of ammunition and takes cover. Then all of a sudden he hears a loud boom and bodies start dropping. Tariq then starts to look around to see where the shots are coming from, but he doesn't see anyone. After all of Tariq's enemies are taken out, he then goes to check on Brayden and Tommy. He then sees them looking in an upward direction. Tariq then turns around to see what they are looking at, and the camera slowly zooms into Ghost standing on top of a building with a sniper rifle. Ghost smiles at Tariq, and then the camera fades to black and the credits roll. The following season would begin with Tommy and Brayden in the hospital. Then for half of the season we see Tariq trying to figure out where Ghost is, but he doesn't come up with any leads. I can see Tariq getting expelled from school in some type of way. And then Ghost appears once again in the finale of the final season and explains everything to Tariq. Like how he survived, why he wanted Tariq to be the son he always wanted, and where he has been for the last few years. I think they will show us what really happened the night Ghost faked his death. along with who was in on it. As I stated in my previous video, I think Starz and the showrunners of Power shot an entire different episode which will show the true events that happened the night Ghost was shot. I think even with Tariq not graduating, Ghost will still release the club and the money to Tariq. I think Ghost would finally believe that Tariq is the man that he always wanted him to grow up to be, and realize that Tariq can make his own decisions no matter how good or bad they are. And I think Tariq will finally tell Ghost he was right about everything. The only other scenario where I could see then bringing back Ghost would be after Tariq graduates. But I don't think that there is any kind of shock value if he were to return that way. It would be very predictable. I believe that Omari Hardwick and Starz will come to an agreement on his contract within the next year. Once that happens, I believe we will see more and more undeniable evidence that Ghost is alive. If you are wondering where the current characters of Power Book 2 Ghost play a part in all of this, tune into my next video where I will give my predictions for Season 3. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all things within the Power universe. See you all next time in the universe of Power.